I think, yeah, I think we should be online.
but you can get Shoot the Moon in a lot of games, and it can be a lot stronger than people think, especially with High Card being as versatile of a hand type as it is.
Absolutely, and I think another thing to point out about those in-hand card builds, such as the Baron and the Mime and the Shoot the Moon builds, is that they're easy to pivot out of or to focus on building for in the early game. Shoot the Moon only requires that you make Queen cards, which play nicely towards a 5-of-a-kind photograph build or even the rare AAA. So you're not missing out on any potential there if you draw into Retrigger within the shop or a photograph. A
The
lot of
only thing,
people are worried to pivot, but I think that those specific builds are easy to get into and easy to get out of.
absolutely, the one thing I would say that makes them somewhat of a hurdle to pivot out of would be that you have to replace potential steal cards for things like lucky cards, things like that. Though it's not as big of a deal, it can be a bit of a bit of a bump that most players maybe wouldn't want to switch out of immediately, but it is absolutely easy to
Ooh,
get out of
brackets are
those.
up.
Oh,
All
no.
right.
All right, appreciate it. Hi, dear.
No
Let's
problem.
check those out. Uh, where are where are the?
The link should be, if you're looking for it, in weekly tournaments, and then go to view bracket for
It
the. I
is. It
think
is.
this is weekly tournament number 7 EU. I don't know if we mislabeled it. Usually NA comes before EU, and at the time slot,
Should
Yeah,
be
no,
EU
it's your way
first.
around. So EU's playing today, NA's gonna be playing
EU's playing
tomorrow.
today.
All right,
Interesting.
perfect. So, any names that you're spotting right away in the bracket? Of course, we see our host Super High here in the buy. That is. But aside from that, well, we do see virtualized against DevLinks, which definitely just him promoting for the sake of it, but
Creator of the mod doing a little bit of self promo.
might as well. um,
As for
aside,
top players, I'm looking at Monkeys in the bracket, looking for Passes in the bracket, Pogue, Beans Hambone, although Beans
see Night,
Hambone, I'm
see Nightmare in there as well.
mhm,
See Yami as well. All the
revitalized.
way at the bottom, I do see Yami as well.
Yami, currently the ranked number 1 on the leaderboard, and from the winning team during the team tournament, Red Ramen. Very
Absolutely.
strong Vietnamese player base.
Vietnam, really? I actually did not know that. Definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's interesting. You don't see that country a lot in other esports. That's actually a pretty interesting fun fact. But aside from that, yeah, I definitely a player to look out for. Definitely some big hitters in there. So it'll be interesting to see which of these either get upset or manage to get into the later stages of the bracket. Any of those that you'd want to cast first if we get the POVs for them.
I think watching the virtualized game would be pretty funny.
All right, that's fair. Get the
The
create
virtualized
of the
game is
game.
coming on. I'll spoil it now. The virtualized game is coming on.
All right,
Absolutely, we got to
perfect.
see. We got to see our boy.
Absolutely. Gotta give him his flowers. He deserves it after all. He's the reason why we can even cast this in the first place. Might as well. Though we'll make sure to keep an eye on the rest of the bracket for any potential upsets or any top players making their way towards the second round. That a lot of players actually got a buy in. Correct me if I'm wrong. Were those randomly decided, or were those decided by whichever players signed up first?
Probably by
Randomly
whichever
decided, I'm
player
pretty
signs up
sure.
first.
Was
All
it?
right.
Oh, randomly decide?
I don't know.
I thought. Oh no, no, no! It comes out first with the order, and then it like redoes it. You're right.
All right. All right.
Mhm. Okay, I
Just
should be
wanted to
getting the
make sure.
virtualized game up on screen now in a second.
Perfect. I don't know his opponent. I don't know if that's my lack of knowledge in the
I am
scene or
currently
not.
trying to scope out and see if there
Oh
are
shoot.
any more on the leaderboard.
Scope
Although
out.
I think our leaderboards are kind of tweaking right now.
Yeah, no, I
So
think the bot's down right now, so we're having a bit of issue with that. So I can't actually pull
yeah,
up the
Ooh,
MMR.
unfortunate timing.
unfortunate. Very unfortunate, since we do have that nice new leaderboard website, much easier to read than the old one.
It is. It
Absolutely.
is quite nice. I will admit they did a great job on it.
Hmm.
Great developments. As always, it feels like recently, especially this past month, definitely feels like
Hmm.
the ladder, everything around it has definitely grown quite a bit, whether it comes to actual player base or just how it's constructed. It definitely feels a lot better than it was like during its infancy.
Well, we all started out at 200 with the latest rank reset, and now I think Yami's still at the top with 900 or something, which is really ridiculous. And the players closest to Yami are at 700, but I think the high MMR has been decided around 600 is where it stands for right now.
Fair enough. Still triple the starting one. That makes some sense to me at the very least.
Exactly. You see a lot of win streaks. You see a lot of high win loss ratios up there. Unlike scrubs like me who have to claw our way through to get like a 58% win rate.
That's fair enough. I mean, granted, the nature of Balatro multiplayer itself makes it rather. If you don't, I do believe. Let me try that again. I do believe that Balatro is one of those games where the higher of a level you play at, the the less randomness plays a role in it. So I feel like at low ladder, you're more susceptible to just getting a quote unquote bad draw or something along those lines.
Yeah, some people play heavy towards luck towards the bottom of the ladder, and sometimes you're punished for going for consistent plays on the bottom of the ladder. But that's just the way luck
Yeah,
works.
absolutely. There are a lot of different esports that function around the same way. So not too surprised to see it there. Hearthstone comes to mind, for example, back when it was
Exactly.
really
Another card
popular.
game.
But regardless, should get the game underway. Heidier, is there anything wrong with the POV?
Yeah, no, Virtualize is ignoring me.
Oh, that is quite that is quite
he's
unfortunate.
Oh my.
he's ignoring me. He's not sending me a link.
All right. In case where he's too focused on his match, are there any other POVs that we might want to look towards?
I can look for some now. I think Virtualize really wants me first though, so I'll let him be. It's rare you get to see a Virtualize game on stream.
All right,
Mhm.
that's fair enough. Is he does he frequently sign
Oh,
up for those
free
tournaments?
vagabond in the shop.
He is. We're seeing one side of the POV anyways. So what
Hmm.
I might do is I
Might as
might just zoom in on that POV for now, and then yeah, that's not Virtualize. This is the wrong name. Chat. Why is this the wrong name? Wait. Okay, this is his one. I'm just gonna remove all this for now. For now, this is like Devlin. And here, let me stream my actual thing for you guys so you guys can see it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my god, virtualized. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, okay. Some of the settings weren't all the audio settings weren't saved over to this solo POV. I understand.
Or is
We'll go back.
does that
It's
mean
back
the
now. It's
game
back now.
audio or okay? So yeah, as we were saying, Conjoined and Chaos, a really difficult choice as we're seeing. He's really debating on it. For those that are not as familiar with the
Love y'all.
PvP
Talk to y'all
mod,
later.
Bye.
yeah, appreciate it,
Bye-bye.
Molly. Thank you. So as I said, Conjoined Joker. For those that are not as familiar with PvP mod, it is a Joker that came out during the recent update, which makes it so the faster you play in the PvP blind, the more mulch you get, since it is dependent on the amount of hands your opponent has. But in the end, chooses to go for Chaos, chooses to go for Econ. About pretty much $5 saved every round, if not more so, with those shop rerolls.
It's a little bit more than that since it's actually the potential for a reroll at all. Since he's using the burglar plus vagabond combo here, he really doesn't want any money going into these shops.
That's true.
Honestly,
You might not even have enough money to make that 5 anyway. Though I do believe that at some point you get enough money through, for example, gold cards or anything along those lines to get across that vagabond threshold. So you probably have enough to make that first reroll, but it's still quite an efficient econ joker at the start of the game.
lots of interesting synergy. Has not seen a devil card yet. A lot of deck fixing, really, a lot of deck fixing. Devlin has a flush house on the screen right now. Received 2 sun cards back to back. It's now looking like he's going towards flushes or a flush house build full of face cards, and he gets a lucky card too. This is a lot of deck fixing early on, and we're really not sure. We can't see Virtualized POV right now, but I imagine that if Virtualized did not take that rare skip at the beginning, there's a lot of divergence happening.
Also, I'd just like to point out this is especially a lot of deck fixing, considering we're not even past the first boss blind yet, I believe.
Exactly.
So for getting flush house
And a
and
second basket.
oh good lord.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be an incredibly interesting game. I would be very excited to see Virtualized POV
Yeah, I
going in.
must say
We are past the first initial regular boss blind, and now we're into PvP. Virtualized looks like he's still setting up his stream. I think he does have that extra time because Dev took the skip.
the free rare skip, gotta say, another really risky one because some rares at the start, like for example a DNA, when you're not certain what direction you're going towards, that can be really risky. But Vagabond absolutely being probably one of the best pickups that you can get early game early.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Virtualized has. Though, even if he has higher point scoring for now, the fact that Devlin has this much deck fixing and with Vagabond and Sock and Buskin, it's definitely more promising for the late game. We're gonna have to see how this first PvP blind stacks up.
Exactly. I'm really interested to see if either player will get a bloodstone and if the early deck fixing will make Devlin much stronger or not. Devlin's playing towards the long-term bloodstone play, playing towards the long-term face card build. He did take that sock and buskin, right? I'm not
Yeah,
crazy.
he did.
All right.
Considering
That's a strong play towards even idle at this stage since his deck is so fixed. He could be getting a lot of deaths, could be getting a lot more suns to make more kings and jacks.
Also, another thing that he does, like, even in the moment, the Sock and Buskin makes sense because he has Scary Face, so it still brings a bit of scoring regardless of the potential late game play.
Absolutely. On that flush house, if he draws the jacks and kings, that is 30 times 5 times 2. So we're looking at 300 chips, which is over double the regular flush house.
Absolutely. It is more than enough to justify it even by itself, but you got to remember those all those tarot cards that he's getting with the burglar, it's 7 tarot cards per blind, which is a lot of tarot cards. It's pretty much the equivalent to like $28 if you want to equate it in Arcana packs, not counting any potential hermits or temperances that you might get.
Really a ridiculous amount of early game deck fixing, and all it comes at is the cost of not seeing a whole lot of rerolls in the shop. But he's already fixed that problem with chaos. So this is an incredibly strong start.
Absolutely, and we're already seeing a 4 of a kind with kings all enhanced with Sock and Buskin. This could already be a really good hand for the first round.
And
And
it
he
beats
does.
out Virtualized. That Virtualized looked like he had 2 decent scoring hands. Devlin opted not to go towards the flush house, mainly because I don't think he could draw any more jacks there.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to play it safe, really. And honestly, in this early boss fight, I absolutely get it. You need to, especially when you have this strong of an econ setup, you want to, if you have the opportunity to get an early life off someone when you have this strong of an econ build, you might as well go for it.
I agree completely. Holding on to that fool, probably hoping to find some sort of death, some sort of hung man, even more. This is a really small deck for this point in the game. That's 46 cards that Devlin has, I think.
It's probably even less. I do believe I saw more Hung Men than that, but even if it is, you got to consider that a lot of those cards were already strengthened, were already sunned, so you might already have a flush 5 available if
Oh
you're
my
Devlin.
goodness.
You do actually, right as I say.
And this is almost a consistent draw now for him, given the amount of kings that he was able to strength up and the amount of just the amount of kings that he has strength up and sons that he got.
And you got to consider this is once again. Oh no, that's super hard here's the
Yeah,
Palashur
yeah.
game.
Oh shoot.
Uh, all good, no worries. You're preparing for your round. We
Yeah,
understand.
no, no,
Totally
no. It's not that. I'm trying to figure out if Virtualize was just trolling me with his link or if my link actually worked, and he just has a bad link. I don't know what to do, guys.
Oh, well, we can just focus on dev links for the time being. If you want to put it in full screen, that's also an option with just
Yeah,
the lack of layout. But
I'm probably
well,
just gonna
we
do
can,
that.
yeah, we can get used to it. It's fine. And another king for Devlin. You gotta wonder. I would honestly be really curious to see what his deck looks like right now. The try. Ooh, that's really good.
Interesting power. Do you give up the scary face for it? He's got Hierophants. I don't know if selling Chaos is the play here. He just skips the tribe. That's a completely valid decision, I think.
Yeah. The thing is, he already took a life off Virtualized by this point, so he's not in any rush. He has everything he needs to fix his deck and to rotate out later. So you might as well just make sure your deck is ready for the late game.
Still
And
focusing. We see our first devil card. Out of all of the tarot that we've seen so far, this is the first devil card he's drawn this entire
and
game. And
followed by a death actually right
that's
away.
very nice for the point scoring.
Yeah, he already has the point scoring, so now it just means getting more money for the shop, which is the Vagabond build's biggest weakness, is really just having that lack of power in the shop itself, because you won't have as much capital to reroll for potential jokers, for buffoon packs, for anything along those lines, really. So getting those gold cards allows you to fix pretty much the deck's one weakness, really.
I agree, and focusing on slight weaknesses that are being mitigated by Vagabond anyway. We're seeing a lot of Temperance, a lot of Hermit for Devlin, so his econ's not an issue really.
Yeah, it's definitely not as bad as you would think, given a vagabond build, really. It's interesting to see how soon he's willing to rotate out. We just saw Midas Mask followed by Paradolia. That would have been quite a funny combo in a different universe. But
Interesting, yeah, but we're already too built to go there.
oh, absolutely. As I said, this would definitely be an interesting build in another context. But by now, you're definitely already committed to that king build, and you might as well just go for it, really.
Exactly, and focusing on a little bit of the metagame here. Information wise, we know that Virtualized did not take the burglar or did not see the burglar that Dev saw, given from the hands. Devlin knows that very likely they're on 2 completely different builds. He took a skip at the beginning. Virtualized did not take the skip. Obviously, Devlin knows that he would not have seen that Vagabond no matter what if he did not take that skip. So he's got to imagine what is Virtualized playing towards. Probably just a strong flush hand since that tribe was in the shop.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one really time. I do believe that's the only times X mult we've seen out of the shop so far. Though you got to remember, since we mentioned, even though he has Chaos Clan, you would expect Virtualized to get more econ in the shops themselves. So maybe he got something in the rerolls that we have not seen. But with that last hand, I do believe that unless Virtualized has something that we've not seen yet for a big last hand, I do believe Devlin should take that second boss blind.
Well, I think even a pair here takes the hand. So he's opting not to play the flush house so that he gets the gold value off. He's only about 50, 70 points away from beating Virtualized there. He doesn't
Oh,
need to score all out. And a 3 of a
My-
kind, just with that lucky card hitting, gets him 6,000 points.
Yeah, my mistake. I did not see that Virtualized had no hands left. So one thing you gotta consider actually about Anaglyph, now he still has the double tags. If
Punished by
you're
order.
Oh, unfortunate. If you're virtualized, you might want to get those double tags out now to try and get
Ooh.
something. Ooh,
Family.
that is quite unfortunate.
You sell the showman here and go for the family. That's a strong power play towards the end game, especially when you with your sock and busking. You can get out of the burglar eventually. You can even get out of the scary face, and of course, once your deck is fully fixed, you do not need the vagabond. Right now, Devlin's down to 44 cards, a plurality of which are kings, hearts kings, and he's just making more with deaths and sun draws. This is really, really, really convenient vagabond play.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta as well. It's just a matter of you can't really sell out of the vagabond or burglar just yet. I do believe he wants to stack up that deck building just a little bit more. And regardless, with
Money
Oh,
shot.
nice money shot. Unfortunate for the vagabond. It feels nice, but it's quite unfortunate for the vagabond, really.
Yeah. It's always it's twisting your arm to try and get more value out of that, and now he's forced to play some kind of awkward hands to get the gold value.
I do believe he does make it anyway, but regardless, at this point, those PvE lines are just for the sake of more deck building, more anything really.
Absolutely. You do have the choice right now between getting out of vagabond and just going for like the high money play. Since you're above interest cap, well above interest cap, you can roll in the shop now. I think keeping vagabond and rolling down this shop is still a good idea for Devlin. The deck isn't completely fixed, although he only has one face card, I believe, since he made the Queen of Clubs that he had in his other hand into a Queen of Hearts. He only has one face card left that isn't a heart.
Yeah, I do believe this is also the correct play. Just making sure that you get as much of that vagabond as you need before rotating out towards a point scoring joker, especially considering that you're ahead in the game already. We did see a shoot the moon. We were talking about that earlier, but once again, by this point, especially with Sock and Buskin, especially with the order, you can't really aim for any in-hand plays. Really, by this point, you're already committed to a flush five with kings or something along those lines.
Exactly. This is one of those times where you do not want to pivot off of your strategy just because it's so strong already. Even with pairs, he's scoring above 3,000. That's fantastic.
You got to consider as well that there are a lot of jokers that could help him out right now. Anything from a Bloodstone, anything from an Idol, maybe anything from that would just help him score that much more, really. So not to mention that he has a lot of options with this Joker setup to go for more, so he doesn't need to rotate out towards any in-hand plays so far.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't need to play those gold cards. He only needs the 4 of a kind to score, and his 4 of a kind scoring is at 34,000 here. Keep in mind that with a flush 5 build, oh my god.
Oh my goodness, photograph.
Oh my god. This is where you sell out of one of your econ farming jokers. I think we're likely to see a sellout of Burglar here. I think he wants to maintain the Vagabond for just a little bit more since it's given him so much power.
I do agree. For some people that might be confused as to why Scary Face is not the one sold here, considering Sock and Buskin, considering everything that's going on in a hand, those chips stack up. Though he is considering it, he might just want to go hard for the econ play, considering that he's ahead, which I guess is also. Oh, it is what he's doing. Okay, so interesting. Maybe he considers that with a flush 5 or something along those. Oh, the trio. Ooh.
That's it. So we were talking about Scary Face potentially not being sold there. Scary Face contributes with the Sock and Buskin about 300 chips to your hand. That's a lot of power. It's not plus molt, it's not times molt, but that's quite a bit of power. Selling out of the Vagabond, not selling out of the selling out of the Burglar makes your potential strongest hand much stronger. That would be the short-term play to go for a knockout blow in the next like 2 rounds on Virtualized. But I think this is a high ladder strategy minded play. It's focused towards a longer term game. Devlin has seen almost all of the shops that Virtualized is likely to have seen. He knows that he has the econ advantage, especially with all the hermits, temperances that he got. He knows that Virtualized most likely could have seen that photograph, but probably didn't. He rolled down quite a bit this ante already, since he's needing to get value out of that Vagabond. So he's thinking, I probably have enough power to beat him already. Although, given the fact that Virtualize is on 1 life, if he had checked earlier that he was on 1 life, I think it would have been better to just keep the scary face.
Yeah, try and go for the final blow, really, especially when you gotta consider that this bonus econ you get when you lose a life could have gotten him a strong Joker. But as it looks like it's gonna be more than enough already, as we're gonna see this final hand from Devlin here with that flush 5. That's going to be a lot. But I do believe that the choice was also fuel. Yeah, 520,000. I do think is
500,
over.
yeah, and Virtualize just did not have the direction. Somehow found a DNA separate from what Devlin saw. That's interesting. I wonder where he found that.
The rerolls potentially from that in shop econ I was talking about earlier.
There could have been a skip tag that we missed. He could have taken that, since we are on Anaglyph here. He probably took a rare Joker skip tag.
Well, that's an option. But an interesting thing I want to talk about with virtualized Joker setup here is that we see actually a bit of a split here with that we were talking about, the shoot the moon, while also having Scary Face and Sock and Buskin. It's a Joker that's not really lined up with the rest of the play you want to make. That would perhaps be better suited for an econ Joker, but it was perhaps fueled by just the fact that you were on 1 life. You needed to get some scoring done. With the DNA pretty much fueling more queens into that build. So it's an interesting just shift here that we might not have seen if he was still on like 2 lives and still had an NT to play.
Absolutely. It's oftentimes that split in direction that kills you in Balatro multiplayer. You see one card that you think, oh man, that's really good to build towards. You see another card that's completely diametrically opposed, and your brain goes, I need both. You need to choose. All the time you need to choose. It's difficult to pivot, oftentimes not worth it to. And building towards a flat style of play rewards you more often than taking 2 paths that diverge.
Yeah, one of the many mistakes that low ladder players often do is that they don't fully commit to a pivot when it is worth it. That they try and still stick to their old build when the other has much higher potential. Of course, if they have the lives to spare to do so. Obviously, I'm not saying that you need to stack if you don't need to not stack your game if you see a bear and then think, oh, high card moments. But
Absolutely.
yeah, you need to commit if you're willing to pivot there. You need to commit fully.
All right, so let's take a look at the bracket. Who do we have? The
public
honor
service
of-
announcement: the Qbot works once again, so we can take the MMR now.
Ooh, appreciate it. Thank you, Lava, for these.
Thank you. I did absolutely nothing, but
yeah, but
yeah.
it was all because of you. It was all because of you.
You gotta thank the messenger.
It's because I asked it to work. I just said, you better work or else, and then it just started working.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So let's see here. I'm not seeing any potential really upsets or anything along those lines in this little bracket here. Some games still, of course, being in the middle of playing, so we're gonna have to wait for the first round to be done for a lot of these players. But yeah, overall, just I'd say a really perfect example of how to play Vagabond here, especially with that burglar.
Very textbook Vagabond gameplay. Very. We saw the direct power that it was able to give. Just Absolutely. So much deck fixing so early on. We saw 3 Hangman, like within the first 2 antes. We saw 2 Suns within the next ante. He was just able to fix his deck immediately, and the option of playing that flush house from the first PvP blind, it made it clear that he had a huge power advantage over Virtualized.
Yeah, the mere fact that you have a flush house available in Ante 2 is definitely not something you see often, especially in PvP, where it's a lot more high risk to go for pure deck fixing right at the start without any point scoring.
Exactly. So I think we're waiting for a couple of the round 1 matches to end so that we can see more matches. Do you see any interesting names that you want to zoom in on?
No, I'm gonna check again, but once again, you know this scene better than I do.
We could probably keep our eyes on Devlin here for a little bit. Also, update: we weren't able to confirm Devlin's position on the leaderboard to give context earlier, but Devlin's currently at number 5 on the leaderboard. That
Oh
ranks
my.
him in the foil rank, and his MMR is at 483.
Okay, so absolutely, so definitely not a fluke on that vagabond play. Definitely high ranking just econ play all around. Definitely not a fluke there.
Exactly. Is that we have a recommendation from Chad, Vagabond versus Owen. Is that already happening, or is that just about to start? Because that would be
I'll
a very
take a look
interesting match.
now because
two
it's not
high-powered
happening
players.
anytime soon. I don't think. Maybe it is.
Okay, it would be
Starting
definitely be an interesting match, that's for sure. Have those two played in the team tournament?
I believe they're both on orange obelisks.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. So
That is correct.
Actually, a clash between former teammates that would also be really interesting to see.
I
The
don't see it
battle
happening
between
anytime soon, though.
boys. It's not happening anytime soon.
No, I think he's
That's
going up
sad.
against Potato next match, and then it's too early to say who
Ooh,
will
okay.
win of that.
So
But
it's a potential
Chat's-
match. Yeah, it's a potential match
Chat's trying to
later
trick
on.
me.
It's a
Yeah.
potential match later on if no upsets happen, which is still interesting to look towards. Definitely.
Yes, yeah. I think we might want to keep our eyes on Devlin here for a little bit. Very
Devlin,
strong
we can
player.
stick on Devlin for a bit.
Yeah. Since we know his game will be starting soon.
Alright. Let's see, where is he again?
Do not
Devlin, I
know
see him.
if.
Mhm. Opens.
Okay, I do see that do see in the streaming chat that we'll most likely be casting once again during the second round with Molly joining in the third. I might have to tag out for that, so it would be pretty good timing. If so, we'll have to see in the moment. We've had to yap quite a bit for the start of the stream anyway, so my timing might not be as accurate as I think it is.
It's okay, you gotta enjoy the app. The app has to come to you. Eventually
Absolutely,
you
it's-
become one with the app.
It's just a part of casting, really. You have to fill in that blank time somehow, right?
Yep, I mean, like, guys,
Game Laced and Kozak Boris.
Sack boards.
That is a game.
is it?
Wait,
Can we...
Where'd you see that? Hold on.
It just started. I'm
Just
just like
started.
looking, and it's starting now. Like
Then
I'm
yeah,
just
I say,
looking at
ask them, we'll watch their link, we'll watch their game, get their
I was
links,
gonna say
send them to me.
that's a very interesting game.
That is an interesting game to
So,
watch. I do.
what seed is that?
agree with it.
Well, like, match
it's
number?
match 91. It looks like
91. Alright, I see it.
Game
so
Lace
it's
Kozak.
down there.
Yeah,
Game Lace
Game
Kozak,
Lace
yeah, I
with
do see.
Kozak. Yeah, we'll get that up.
I do see it. Going up against Pearl in the next round, so just gotta change the names real quick. And actually, yeah, first boss blind, which unfortunately is lost by our POV. So quite unfortunate timing there.
I do not think the stream is up on the Twitch.
Oh,
Unless it is.
it's not up
Oh,
yet.
so
I
yeah,
still
the
have
gameplay.
to.
Yeah, it's
The
okay.
gameplay isn't up yet. I still have to get the links for the gameplay. You're guys gonna have to wait
Oh,
on that.
Was that? Oh, is that Devlin's stream then? That we're seeing?
We're
Okay.
us commentators are still just seeing Devlin, and it's very sad for me because they're playing on Ghost Stack.
Oh,
It's like
we're
the
talking
first time
about-
I would
I'm sorry.
have gotten to commentate Ghost Stack.
You're
Wait.
talking about it on cast, and he does get another vagabond actually. Funnily
This man, what a storyline! What a storyline! That Kazakh game would be very interesting to watch too.
It would be. I just need to get the links for it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if you can, or if you can find it in time. See, actually, while we're looking for it, it's actually another example of the hex card being really something that's really differentiates decision making between all these. Because I do believe that an option here would be to just go all in on that vagabond with hex here. Simply because of the fact that it's taking up a tarot card spot, which could be used for vagabond plays later. But we can clearly see that he's thinking about it. It's quite the tough call to make. Hovering over the sell button too. Yeah, he definitely torn on it, which makes sense. You definitely have to just wonder what the correct play is in that sort of situation. And he does sell it. Interesting. The one perk of the ghost deck.
We're kind of ghost commentating this since chat
Oh,
absolutely
it's
cannot
okay.
see
Go.
us. We
Check it
have
out. See, it's okay. You guys are on podcast
is it-
mode. Do not worry. They can only see the bracket.
Every move
Oh,
for
my-
chat.
my-
Devlin's
my-
on a roll here. He sold the hex card for anyone wondering. I think that here's a little strat play for people who don't play Ghost Deck a whole lot. I think selling the hex card before you go into the small blind or before you win the small blind is a very good idea since it gets you above that interest threshold. And oftentimes the hex card value is much less than the interest. Getting that, oh my god, this
Oh,
game,
Bloodstone.
this a Bloodstone in the shop for Devlin during the game. He has a Fool, he had a Temperance, he's able to roll down more and or get the Buffoon packs. This is just, and it's Chaos the
And-
Clown in the shop.
Goodness, that's that's quite the game to ghost commentate. I'll be honest. No,
He-
you gotta remember
He-
let me try again. It's something that his opponent is also going to see because it is first round shop. So
Absolutely, it's in the Buffoon pack, so it's guaranteed for his
no,
opponent to have seen.
it was the first round of the shop for the Bloodstone.
Oh yeah, oh my god, yeah, you're right. Well,
No worries, no worries.
Man, this game would have been phenomenal to watch. We haven't outlined it yet, but he had a holographic smiley face card.
Yeah, which is part of why I believe he didn't want to sell that.
Didn't want to use the hex card.
Hex
Yes,
card,
getting
yeah.
rid of that, and especially with a bloodstone works very well to generate flat mult for you to multiply during the played hand. And it's a lucky card prop. What am I watching?
Once again, not exactly what you. Funnily enough, the one situation that you do not want it is when you have a vagabond. But in all fairness, it is his last hand, so
Oh,
it's probably
shit.
the best time that he can get it.
Mm-hmm. There's no real downside to getting the $20 when you've already gotten 2 tarot out of a played hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty close to max value that you can get out of a vagabond, especially considering that the next hand gets you all of the interest that you would get with that bonus.
He's got a lot to roll down. He's got a bankroll of $73 right now. To get value out of that vagabond, he has to roll down. He's waiting strategically to take a spectral pack so that if he sees a wraith, there's no issue.
And an idol being presented to him, quite the interesting call to make. And he chooses to skip it.
Super.
I know. 1 second. Kozak is not sending me a link. I can't go on to the next game. These guys are commentating like a screen that they can't see.
Yeah,
They're doing radio work right now. They're like being schizophrenic. Everyone's like, "What the hell are these guys talking about?" Like they can't see it. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Mo DM'd me about it like at this point.
yeah, no, I'm
I
waiting for
don't know
Kozak
what-
to send me a link so I can show the next game. But he's
Chet,
Oh,
I need you
I think I got
to
it.
visualize the game that we're talking about.
You need to start using your brain. You need to start like activating like your imagination.
Your imagination.
Yeah,
It's extreme Balatro gameplay here. They're actually moving around the screen in ways we've never seen before.
we're teasing the audience at this point, really.
Oh my god, what's this? Is this a new like a new Joker that no one's ever seen before? Oh guys, this is great. You just have to go like
DLC
20
dropped just for the
blueprints.
tournament.
Oh my lord, what are the odds, guys?
7 blueprints in the shop.
All right,
That's
guys,
not
we're
friends with
ready.
Triple Five.
We're almost ready to go. I'll just have to get the MMR on shortly, but I think I'm just gonna
Skipper,
swap
come
over to
on.
the screen.
Just show people something.
And there you go. You guys get. We'll start with game lays and Kozak Boris, and it's not my
Yeah,
fault.
we're
This is why I'm telling you. I'm waiting on these like game links. That's why I wanted
true,
to like
it's
make
true.
sure
Yeah,
everyone does it beforehand.
Unfortunate the side of the hosting process there is that we had to wait for it. But
It's all user error, guys. I go up to these guys and they take 20 years. It's not my fault, chat. It's not my
no,
fault.
I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying it's unfortunate that it does happen.
No, it is.
And actually, quite the interesting decision to make early on. That interest stack there, that $25. We'll have to see one of those players just take it. And it's erratic deck. I did not see that.
Yes. What you wanted to see looks like a interesting erratic deck spread. Heavy on the clubs.
Only 6 face cards as well. A lot less
Yeah.
than what you're used to seeing in a regular deck. So potentially having to finally be forced out of those usual face cards build that's we're used to seeing here. So it's gonna
And
be a
also,
really interesting to
A
see.
very even spread across all of the cards. No super heavily stacked cards. There's only about 6 10s. That was the highest one we saw.
Yeah,
So
no numbered card to really aim for in particular here. So it is quite interesting to see. I do believe a hack would potentially be your strongest option when it comes to retriggers. Though interesting that we see Kozak skip that first round for the interest tag here. So it'll be
Already
interesting.
some divergence, yeah.
Yeah, Gamelay is choosing to get that Cloud9, even if it's only one bonus dollar per round here. Chooses to immediately sell it for the
I believe
Hermit.
it was three for the deck. It was 3, I think. But Gameplay is having no issues getting $15 plus the sell value of that Cloud9, and then rolling into a Hermit immediately. I don't think you can ask for more early power. He's got $4 of interest going into this boss blind, and he's got a decent Molt Joker and a decent Chip Joker. So he's set for the next couple of blinds, at least in power.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see if that interest tag really pays off in the next small blind shop. I believe that's the highest point of power that you're gonna get with that interest tag. So quite the crucial shop coming up for Kozak.
Exactly. So a spectral pack in this shop could be interesting. We were looking to see some type of immolation, maybe cut down the deck size even more, play towards that's 10s. Grim is interesting, but Gamelays opts towards the Hex play on the Swashbuckler. That's interesting, gives him plus molt and times molt all in one Joker slot. Could be good for getting a win on the early boss blind. And Gamelays was able to unlock the flush house earlier on the blind before the boss blind. That could be an interesting pivot to see. We do have a lot of 10s of clubs. Very curious to see what he plays towards there. Shoot the moon.
I do believe once again, shoot the moon that we were talking about earlier. I do believe that decision to get rid of the scary face is also fueled by the fact that you don't have that many face cards in your deck right now due to erratic decks nature.
Exactly.
So I
That's
do
a good point.
perhaps a different decision would have been made in a different deck type, but we'll have to see if it pays off in that first boss blind. But Kozak not exactly getting the power he wanted out of that interest tag really compared to Gamelays. You only have that Polychrome Cloud9 here and that half Joker that Gamelays pretty much has as well with that Polychrome Swashbuckler.
Yeah, so both these players with a little bit of flat molt, a little bit of times molt from that hex card, both of them getting it. I think Gamelays is in a much better position right now just because of the scalability of that Swashbuckler and the fact that he's got Banner. Very easy to play a hand that has decent flat molt and decent times molt just because of that. And he's got an okay econ. He's also got the half Joker that Kazakh Boris has. So if he's playing pairs, he's winning this boss blind. Kazakh also getting the Banner from a Judgment. Do you remember if Gamelays bought that from the shop or got it from the Judgment?
I do believe he got it from a Judgment as well. I will point out, it is interesting to see that neither player is, well, no, actually it makes sense that not going for the Shoot the Moon. You only have one queen in deck right now. So.
Yeah. It's not viable on this erratic deck. There's potential maybe towards a face card play if you get a couple of strengths and strength up the 10s that you have, 10 being the most popular card in the deck. But I think both players seeing that as kind of a very shaky option. We have the potential to go into the boss blind with almost the exact same card setup for both players.
Troubadour and
Cloud9. Oh, Droll.
No,
Sorry,
I more
Droll
meant
Joker.
Droll Joker.
Yeah, Droll
Joker
Joker, yeah.
Being the one picked up by Kozak for this boss blind. So quite the different one overall. I will say, really different. I do believe Gamelay still has the edge with that Swashbuckler in terms of power, but we'll have to see how that goes.
We'll have to see how if Kazakh takes this seeing double, that is a stronger times molt effect than Gamelay's single hex. And if Kazakh's playing maybe a 3 of a kind of 10s, this could score a little bit more. Both players are able to score very consistently with low card hands. They both draw into a 3 of a kind immediately.
It is interesting to see how nice money shot from Gamelays there. Definitely helps.
And we see the difference from that seeing double. That's the real difference from the seeing double that we have.
Though I will say, Kozak's Jokers right now are kind of contradictory because on one hand you have seeing double that you can't really use with the flush that Droll provides. Droll also can't be used with half Joker. So quite a bit of contradictory counter synergy rather in Kozak's Jokers, but that could also be seen as just him playing a lot of different hands and getting value for those different types in that first boss blind.
I agree with you here, although we have to consider the fact that Droll Joker is holographic for Kozak, so that means that it's contributing plus 10 flat mult no matter what. That's about what that's exactly what it contributes if you do score just a flush. And we see a 5 of a kind from Gamelays.
Absolutely,
Oh.
and Kozak actually having 3 hands left, that's seeing double doing a lot of work and just
Yes.
allowing him to have more than enough points to get through with those 2 bonus hands.
I think he can probably outscore this even without seeing double hand. So he can just take his time, yeah.
Yeah. He didn't did he have anything to dig for there? Potentially those lucky cards maybe for money shots? It now
I
seems he played
think he
those.
had a red seal lucky card, and that was it that you would consider digging for.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I'm surprised to not see it, considering that he pretty much had this in the bag. And speaking of red seals, another
Interesting.
deja vu. Maybe going for a 5 there to go for a potential hack play, maybe for more plays with that lucky red seal. But we do see him hovering, so and it is actually what he's going to go for. So most likely a 5 of a kind, a 5 build here, potentially being aimed for. So we'll have to see if he can get the deck fixing for it, potentially copying that lucky red seal.
I think I was wrong earlier about the amount of numbered cards in the deck. I thought 10 was the highest, but I think I missed the fact that both these players have a lot of 5s. Gamelays has 8 5s in his deck right now, and Kozak has, I think I read that as a 6 earlier. I think it's 8 for both players.
I do believe it is 8 for both players as well. It definitely makes more sense for that red seal choice. Though I do believe the red seal 5 was gotten from a standard pack actually.
Yes.
So it definitely aligned with their interest quite a bit there. But Kozak actually having 2 of those red seal 5s, since Gamelay's only got 1 because of that spectral pack. So well,
that was a holographic Hierophant enhanced 5 for Gameplay, so it looks like we're building towards 5s this game, I think, for both players.
Yeah, but Kozak having a bit of a head start in that regard with those 2 red seals that he's able to copy easier with depths, for example.
Had a bit of a lag spike. I think we're watching a PowerPoint presentation. Kozak's internet currently under attack.
It's kind of been under attack the whole game.
Yeah, we'll just we'll have to adapt to it. Thankfully,
Guys.
Balatro is not the highest APM game, so we'll live with it. And that 5 of a kind actually already being played, so already having more than enough to build towards that.
Yeah, all future donations.
Potential focus.
No, for real. All future donations towards the stream, it's gonna go towards Kozak getting a better Wi-Fi connection.
That's true. It goes directly into his pockets. We have to ship the money.
We just feel bad for him.
Manually.
We have like a money cannon.
Actually, an interesting divergence between the two is that Gamelays took that Pareidolia, Kozak choosing not to. I will say Pareidolia is definitely stronger in this game mode in PvP compared to usual Balatro, because you can't be punished by things like Mark, Plant, etc. So I will say it provides potentially more synergy with things like the Sock and Buskin, for example, or Photograph, or anything along those lines. But that Invis Joker could definitely be a point of contention here, as Kozak's going to come to it after this round.
Very interesting. He might have to sell out of everything to copy that Conjoined Joker. That Conjoined Joker is the most long-term planning Joker that we've seen for gameplays so far. Holding on to the Invis might be a bad idea.
And right as you say that, he sells that Conjoined.
Oh no!
Kozak crashed, I believe.
Oh no!
And that's after the first 2 rounds too.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Really
unfortunately a disqualification for Kozak.
That's really unfortunate. That it looked like such an interesting. That's unfortunately, if you have bad internet, that's just something that you deal with. But
yeah, unfortunately, Balatro was just too demanding. It took too much.
The Siberian internet couldn't keep up.
With all the big numbers, that's a very bad issue, though. That's a bad way to go out.
Your TPU. Yeah, you definitely gotta feel bad if you're Kozak. I can't really do much about that. That's just how the game goes, really. So Gamelay is gonna be facing Pearl next round, I believe. If I read the bracket correctly, I did. So unfortunate entry into round 3 here for
all right. I'm gonna have to just solve this back over, looking at the bracket.
Gamelay's into Pearl.
I do believe I'll have to hand it over to Molly for the next round because unfortunately I'll have to go for a few minutes. Nothing too long, thankfully, but I'll be there later for the next few casts. But thankfully, Molly being here to take the relay right here. And speak of the devil.
I'm not the devil.
No, absolutely not.
I'm an angel.
That is how the expression goes, Molly. I haven't decided on that, but thankfully.
I don't know. We haven't seen whether or not they make gold cards. I mean, like, do you produce gold cards? You might be the devil.
Absolutely.
Get it, guys? It's a Balatro joke. You gotta be a Balatro guy.
But yeah,
This is true.
regardless, I will see you guys later. Appreciate Molly for the relay and hope you guys have a great round 3.
Okay, wonderful. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you guys a good matchup between me and Jake Balatro. Yeah,
Jake Balatro and
That is
Super
a
Hype.
good match.
it should be. Because you guys
Yeah,
have seen me get
Yeah,
stopped.
that's a
good match.
I'm about to be able to do full-time stream management after I lose this game.
Okay, so Lava,
Anything
you're
can
back,
happen.
right?
I'm what?
Are you back? Am I wrong? in
I am
thinking-
back. Yeah.
Okay.
Cast
I'm gonna hop on
says the bot
commentary
might
for
be
a bit.
fixed, but you can hop on commentary now.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Oh, and the bot works again. All right, we are chilling now.
Love,
wonderful.
love.
And I just gotta set up the MMRs now, and then I'll be able to show
I
you
think
guys
you're
the match.
for the Twitch stream. I think you're only streaming your.
Oh shoot, I know what to do. Alright, I'll just put it here. I'll just end it. We'll go straight over. And let me just change the commentators out.
There we go.
Working on it.
Do not worry. Alright. Molly, you're commentating this one, right?
Yeah, I am, and I believe I'm doing it with Rokul. Is that true?
Yep,
That is true.
That is honestly like Roko,
Roko.
Rokul,
Ollie and
I,
Roko.
we're a team. I feel like that's Jerry the King Lawler and JR, you know. Alright, let's go.
Very true. We're the power players of the scene.
Yeah.
Going into this game, context for anybody who doesn't know, Jake Balatro, a multi-tournament winner, very powerful player, and our very own Super Head here, who's been streaming all of the POVs so far, so hopefully less lag this time. But both players powerful in their own right. Lemons, actually, the team that Super High Deer headed up for the team tournament, got a lot farther than I personally thought, so I have to put some respect on Super's name. I think Jake was on what? Was Jake on a team for the team tournament?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was on the
Jake
Steel
was,
Scholars.
nice.
Steel Scholars.
That is
So really,
correct.
if we're looking at it from the team tournament matchup perspective, Super's got a pretty big lead here, considering the fact that the Steel Scholars bowed out, I think, first in the team tournament, right?
Yeah, we
I will
bet them. Lemon
say,
Legends
I
bet the Steel Scholars.
I
crazy.
single-handedly beat Jake in that team
Wow.
tournament. Yeah, I
Single-handedly.
felt electric. And you know what? That's to show that even the best players on the leaderboard, they're not infallible. And you can't look away because you have no idea what's about to happen.
Absolutely true. Just because somebody has wins and legacy wins on you does not mean that you can't absolutely mollywop them with some good play in the Balatro multiplayer scene.
Alright, guys, see you later.
See ya.
Good luck. Have fun.
Looks like we're getting right into it. Yellow deck. Interesting choice by both players, I think.
we
A
got
safe
it.
choice.
We got a misprint lookup
Ooh.
right at the start by Jake.
Just flexing on us.
Super high
He's trying to intimidate the streaming audience, barely
Oh,
not
Jake
drawing
doesn't
that high
make
card
it.
flush. So that means Super here with a money lead at the beginning.
Oh my goodness.
What can he do with it? This buffoon
Oh,
pack
get that
opens up
burnt
to a
joker.
burnt joker. Bird Joker's kind of hard to play towards, I think, honestly, but both players probably going to go with it for easy levels into at least high card. I think leveling up high card early in the game is never a bad idea. That makes the pivot towards a Baron or a Shoot the Moon or just a general mime build a lot easier.
That was definitely going to be my reason for playing Burnt Joker. But you also have to consider if you get it like a
Hermit.
blueprint, for example, it's just going to go that much harder and
Absolutely. Any copying
set you
effect.
aside from your opponent.
Any copying effect effectively doubles the amount of planet levels you're getting from just that one card. Jake getting a lot of good tarot cards here. A death in the shop too. That means Super can see all of these. The Hermit was on the face, and then here probably the Hangman, and then the Death as well from Super. So both players making almost identical choices.
A lot of face cards in this boss blind, so I think Jake has no problem clearing that. Looks to be the case. An asteroid was just thrown.
Oh my gosh.
Oh goodness, we're gonna have a game over here.
Both players are going to be able to see this. That is the first shot for the next ante, a Chad plus a Sock and Buskin. I think we found the direction for the game. If there's a photograph hiding somewhere here.
Oh my god, scary face.
We're running flat molt. The only issue is that Burnt Joker lends itself towards... Interesting.
Probably
I understand. I understand the decision making there because Burnt Joker lends you towards trying not to play a whole lot of 5-card hands since you're just discarding whatever and looking for what you want to play. He's got 2 pairs, and high card leveled up right now. I think maybe discarding the 2 pair there was a bit of a mistake, accidental. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. He does have the pair now. He does have the duo now, so you're right. That's a long-term play towards. It gets times 2 more.
I see a scenario in which the duo is not something that Super Hidier will think to pick up.
I think that would be a big point of diversion. I think that Super Hidier might pick up the scary face. Nope, we're both wrong.
Oh, dang. Oh, He's hit the road, Jack.
What is going on? Hit the road. I'm not super big on the hit the road stocks. How do you feel about it?
I feel like if you're playing a face card build like this and you fill your deck with just jacks and jacks and jacks, like you're getting to a point where not only do you get to discard jacks, but you get to play jacks. And that really gets you closer to building for idle as well. Honestly, there's some synergy with some really prominent cards there. I personally take it in this scenario.
And obviously Jake personally takes it too. Jake's playing a higher APM game than Super is here. He's making these decisions a lot faster. He's going to reach that boss blind a lot quicker. I don't think we'll see the timer come into play here. But I think both players have seen about the same amount of shop as each other. Econ's been relatively the same for both players. Jake did go in with a little bit more actual money into the first shop and a little bit more actual money into the second shop.
Both players playing exactly the same Joker build with exactly the same Jokers positioned.
Really no divergence. Jake first to the PvP blind. Super is on the big blind here. He only has this big blind and one more shop to get through. Probably not going to be a factor for the timer. Probably get there just in time. Super's able to play a 4 of a kind there. 4 of a kind scoring 50,000 points. If he's able to draw that during the PvP blind, Jake might have a hard time matching that. Given the
Super
absolute
going for more dollars. Instead of saving it for interest, is starting to consider
not to take the
how
voucher.
can I set myself apart here?
Exactly.
Is this the first PvP?
Yes, first PvP.
Looks like it.
So we're seeing, but I think both players drawing probably towards 4 of a kind or some sort of pair build. Jake with 3 jacks, 3 of his 4 jacks right now. Yes, he did not death a jack earlier. Might death one now to get the 3 times multiplier.
Jake definitely played this round more smart by getting using a hand early to gain more chance to find jacks. I believe. Yeah.
The super
times
high
3 for
deer.
hit the road.
Yes, super high deer though only with a
Flush
2.5
house, though.
times, but with a flush house exactly, and 2 enhanced cards in that one as well. He's holding off to see if he really needs to. He does need to play this. This should easily outscore what Jake did though.
I don't see why you wouldn't play it. I mean, you get a planet card like unlocked.
Well, then that
Future
could be a negative actually. Unlocking and what is going on? What's going on with the games today?
Oh.
Talk to me. Am I going crazy? Am I going crazy? What's happening?
We gotta photograph this moment.
Wait, a cryptid! What's happening?
No, what? Imagine.
What's going on?
Okay, we got a game here, folks. Not only do we have PhotoChad, Sock and Buskin, but we have Hit the Road, which adds a very unique layer to the meta we have seen. Oh, but Super Hydra doesn't pick up the
he didn't jacks with the death earlier. He didn't see the same cards because he doesn't have the same cards in the deck, because Jake was able to use 1 death during that boss blind, which resulted in him drawing a jack to use the cryptid on during that spectral pack.
Bloodstone! And Jake copied red jacks. This is okay. There's no way. I'm sorry. Super Hydra needs to.
Well,
I don't know. He's got some flush house in hearts.
It's true. Super Hydra also building towards those hearts, and he is going to see that Bloodstone. That Bloodstone was at the first roll of the second shop, so it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed for both players. Both players have and he sells off hit the road jack.
To see a divergence here, I think.
I don't know which player is technically stronger here right now. Jake has a higher potential output just because of how many jacks he has with the hit the road, right?
I'm gonna say that
going for the idol though.
Going for the idol.
It's a good play. It's a good play. Super is also going to see that though, so we're going to end up, I think, in about the exact same deck position for both these players. Super could hold on to the face card Joker. That does synergize with Bloodstone a little bit, especially if you're playing flush houses full of faces. And with the Sock and Buskin, it doubles it. But I think really we're just in a mad dash towards making more hearts face cards. You see 200,000 from a pretty good set of Bloodstone procs for Super there. That's about both players' maximum potential right now. Super with a little bit higher if he's able to do that flush house.
I just feel like Jake has more deck building. Like he's got more of a specific card at this moment. If I'm not mistaken, he has way more jacks.
He has more jacks than Super does. Although Super, I think, is built towards kings.
The players are listening to us on commentary. I know they're not, but everyone's thinking the same thing right now. How am I gonna get over this PvP blind? Jake is one of the best Balatro players out there at the moment.
At least in the tournament. At least in the tournament he is. He's proved his chops multiple times.
Yeah. I don't think I think Jake comes out on top here, but the idol doesn't pop. In fact, Super doesn't even have an idol.
He opted not to go with it. He opted to keep that face card, which I think is an okay play to make, especially if you're playing this flush house here with your Sock and Buskin. If the Bloodstone procs early on. This is a lot better.
Actually, Super Hydra made the best short-term decision.
He absolutely did, yes.
Let's see if Jake made a good play here.
It's really just going to come down to whether or not Jake is going to be able to build towards that idol and hit it consistently.
I don't know if Jake's going to make it.
It's certainly not this boss blind. Certainly not this boss blind. But he has to play. He has to play towards that end game heavy. He's already down 2 lives here. That's a big econ boost, especially going into this next shop. Super is not going to have a whole lot of money, but Jake, with the double loss bonus, up to $39 here, looking for a Herman one of these packs to get the snowball rolling in the Divergence department.
And we know that Jake is good for this. Like, just because you're on the back foot does not mean you're falling completely over here. I think Super Hadier is making some good deck building plays with those Sun cards.
Well, playing towards that flush house also lends towards playing towards a flush 5, like we're going to see here, unlocks that card. That's going to be a much easier hand type to build towards. Really, you can't go wrong with a whole lot of things here with Suckin' Buskin, Hanging Chad, Bloodstun, plus Photograph. Like, you can't go wrong with these.
I think if anything, I would suggest that Super Hadier really considers enhancing his cards just a bit more with like Lucky and he's the
million rebate. He
Maybe
needs the eco. I understand. And hold on, we didn't notice here, but Jake skipped all the way to the boss line. He knows that he has to make a power play here.
He's not even clicking the timer. He knows that doesn't even matter.
Well, it gives away information. I think it's actually kind of a strategic play not to click the timer here. It gives away information to Super that he skipped to the boss. Without activating that timer, Super doesn't know that he took 2 skips. He doesn't know that that idol's active, so he doesn't know that he needs to roll down a whole lot. He's still thinking that him and Jake are on the same sort of path here. This is where the real divergence starts. Jake's not going to see any of these shops, which is a huge, huge detriment to his long-term scoring, but I think he knows that he needs to be able to get at least one PvP blind on the board where he's able to scare Super Hadier into spending more econ.
On Jack of Hearts right now, the idol?
Jack of Hearts, yes, the idol's on Jack. That's what
he's got it in the bag. Oh, the brainstorm! Oh,
no! Oh no, Jake!
Bad. You could get serious money from that mail-in rebate. You could copy Suckin' Buskin.
Yes, and that's
you get more chance for.
So
that is a huge.
I do not think that this means that Super wins this boss blind because of the fact that the idol is on the Jack. That's 2 times every time a Jack is played. Each Jack gets re-triggered. But
okay. These are cards that Jake would have dreamed about.
Exactly.
Here they are.
This is the real cost of idol. This is the real cost of idol. If your idol rolls onto something early on in your ante and you need to skip, you don't see the shop. Huge divergence from both players. I still think Jake is able to take this if he gets a flush 5 of Jacks. Just from the sheer power of it all. But if I don't know if Super's able to play a flush house or a flush 5 of those kings on his last hand played, it gets close here. It gets really close. Looks like he's trying to draw towards that flush house since he knows that he has more enhanced jokers. Jake only has one hand that he's going for. He's just going for flush 5. Jack of Hearts. He gets it. Let's see what it does. Let's see the damage.
I don't know if this is gonna. You know what? This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
495 million.
What's this gonna be here?
It depends on the Bloodstone procs. Only 4 million. Like I said, there was no chance for him to beat that. However, Super does not know that Jake skipped those 2 blinds. He thinks maybe, oh my god, he's got like glass or something from a pack that I didn't open. What's going on? Super thinks that he needs to roll down super heavy here. So, what does that mindset shift looks like? He's looking for any advantage over this. He doesn't know that Jake's strategy was inconsistent. Exactly. And I think that's why Jake played there. He wanted to scare the absolute ever-living fuck out of Super.
And yet, we don't know if that's going to happen next PvP, and I think Super Hadier might know because he saw that idol before, and it was
he did see
in a stable for a sec, right?
It's true. Well, Super didn't pick up the idol. No, he just left it. He maintained his face card, his smiley face Joker. So he doesn't know necessarily if Jake's holding on to the idol. Probably imagines that he is at this point. If he thinks about that and he thinks, oh man, it hit this early on, is his deck building just that good? That could also be another thought that scares him into rolling harder here. A red seal on...
Oh, the red seal. Wow. That's huge.
Wow. If he gets that enhanced, that'll be crazy.
Do we fully know whether or not Super Hide, you're copying the Dusk with the Brainstorm was the right play? We
I
have
think
people
so.
in chat theorizing perhaps
You have
not.
2 layers. You have 2 layers of retrigger there with Sock and Buskin and Dusk. I think so. It's always up to chance for the Bloodstone. It's always up to chance. You're asking for expected value here. I think the thought process, without doing calculations, to go for copying your retrigger makes sense because you also have the photograph there, which is a guaranteed 2 times mold. It's only on one card, though. It's only on one card. So the Bloodstone, if you copy the Bloodstone with 2 retriggers, that's 1.5 to the 5th power for 1 row retrigger, 1.5 to the 5th power again for another row retrigger, and 1.5. So that's 1.5 to the 15 potential. If you copy it, it's 1.5 to the 30 potential. So I think probably copying the Bloodstone, better play there. You're right.
Sounds good.
Into the boss blind
Now we
here.
know. And let's see how it boils down this time.
Jake does not have the idol on that Jack of Hearts again here, although he does have it on the Ace of Hearts. He's got 2 of them in his deck right now. If he just plays a regular flush with those, that's still pretty decent scoring.
Decent, but is it enough?
That is what we're all asking here. I think with Super Hydier's deck position, he could probably play some regular flushes to go for power. But I think both these players are really concerned with just drawing down to that last hand to get exclusive value. Super Hydier more than Jake because of the Dusk.
Doesn't get the 5 of kind, doesn't get the flush house.
He has to play a 4 of a kind. I think a 4 of a kind here still wins, but I think chat is probably right. So now we got to think about: is it better to copy the photograph, or is it better to copy the Bloodstone, or is it better to copy the Sock and Buskin? This is a lot of heavy math that you have to do.
Yeah, this is very interesting position.
With the 4 of a kind, I think you copy the photograph since you're missing out on a whole other exponent for that 1.5 times molt from the Bloodstone.
I think that
Copying
red seal
retrigger
is going to be
safe.
the hope.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Oh no!
Oh no! That was with 2 idle. So Jake still had idle active there, only 2 times, but that was enough. Neither of those. Wait, both of those cards got retriggered by Chad. So effectively the same type of retrigger power that Super would have. This is really
overstocked. Not much. Probably not hit the road anymore.
Probably not hit the road. I think we're so far past. We're so far past.
Yeah, we've hit the road far away. We got a death and a devil in our consumable slots. Probably the best card to copy is that king with the red seal on it, correct?
Definitely the best card to copy. I think there's some calculus behind whether or not you put the devil on it. I think you do.
Yeah,
and then you copy it with the death.
I mean, you just get 2 gold cards there. Like,
I mean, if you're playing both, then you don't get anything. But I think Super only needs to play the 4 of a kind here. Doesn't need to play the 5 of a kind. So he gets.
He wants the money.
Yeah, plus 12 if he plays all this. I'm not sure why you're not just playing the 4 of a kind. You know the 4 of a kind wins. So
we can doubt ourselves on a day-to-day basis.
It's true. Jake's still looking for that idol to just hit on a jack or hit on really any hearts card at this point. That's his out. If the idol doesn't hit on a hearts card for one of these rounds, he's cooked completely. He doesn't know that Super has all this.
Jake is one of the best idol players in the scene and is very committed to oh my god.
Missed it earlier. Pops back up. What's gonna be in that buffoon pack for Super? Jake's looking at that.
That's a good question.
I understand getting rid of the photo here. Since you have the idol, you're playing towards the idol heavy already. Getting rid of the photo, not a bad idea because it maintains your retrigger from the hanging Chad. Jake knows that his winning play here is really only to go for that idol. So, like, what do you give up here? You don't want to give up hanging Chad because that's 2 more retriggers. Giving up giving up the photograph is hard. It's hard decisions.
It's just bothering me that Super Hider has the Hearthstone just like selected there.
It's
for no
just
reason.
hanging up there. Yeah.
It's
I
just
hate it when
he's gonna
players do
sell
that.
it
Yeah, it
by
makes me
accident.
anxious. Makes me anxious. They're gonna like scroll over, especially when they're using handy, because like it's got the you just hold it down, you scroll over it, you hold it down, you accidentally sell it, and you're like, oh no, I've lost the game because I'm an idiot. Idle procking on the 4 of spades for Jake. Not
That is
what he's
really
looking
bad
for.
for Jake.
Not what he's looking for. To be completely clear, the maximum scoring potential for Jake here, I think, is down from what 5 million from last round, and was it 495 million the round before?
It was 450 million, I believe.
450 million from that round when he had the jacks on the idol. Here we're looking closer to just a million. Super can absolutely win this boss blind, and
I
then he'll
agree.
have the life advantage again. All he needs to do is draw into that king flush 5. Going to be a lot easier to do now, and a lot stronger than it was the first time around, since he's got those 2 red trigger kings,
Yep.
and he gets it.
Just Super Hider just tossing cards out, not caring really about his brainstorm quite yet. He's going for the flush house.
This ordering is incorrect. He needs to put the red seal
flush
king.
house is not as strong as a flush 5.
Yes,
most
and
likely.
both are
That's
unleveled,
it.
so
That's the way to go.
yeah. This, and I don't think what Super copies here matters a whole lot. I think all of these win. I'm pretty sure. I think copying Bloodstone's a good strategy. If you're Super Hider right now, you're probably asking yourself what's going on with Jake, and then you remember, oh, he's probably playing Idol. So you know that Idol didn't hit this round. You know that means that the deck fixing either isn't super good, or the deck fixing is just missing right now. See a mime in the shop.
Super Hider is just. I think he's loving every second of this right now.
He's popping off right now. I think I don't. Ooh, and an idol for Super in the shop here. That could be a big equalizer. They won't be synced, these idols, because the decks are fixed different. Oh, and I think we've found Jake's out. Jake has ruled onto the Jack of Hearts on the idol.
Oh, and that immolate was just so beautiful.
Wow, for the deck fixing power. Super does not know that he's being put on watch.
He's put the. Oh my goodness! Oh my.
This
This
it's
is
moving
one
too
of
fast
the.
to commentate. It's moving too fast to commentate. We've got a lot to process here, folks.
I mean, Super Hider's got Dusk. Jacob's got Hanging Chad, but does Jacob has 1 red seal. Super Hider's got a couple.
It's all about whether or not that idol procs onto the King of Hearts. That's really what it's all about. Right now, it's on the Queen.
And honestly, it wouldn't hurt if one of them got a planet card or 2.
It wouldn't. Have we seen like any high powered planet cards? None, right?
Not that I've seen.
That's crazy. This is absurd.
Super Hider is questioning his life decisions yet again on a small
Jake
blind.
knows what he wants to copy. Jake knows that if he's like at least 2 layers of retrigger deep, you copy your times mult cards. Super's kind of experimenting, I think, mid blind.
Yeah. And all power to him. That's the way to go for sure.
This time, Jake opting to actually activate the timer, letting Super know, hey. He scrolls over the timer too. Scrolls over the timer. He probably knows he skipped. That means that he knows that the idol is activated. He knows that he has to roll onto this King of Hearts, or else it's curtains for this blind.
Oh my god.
The MO. With 2 of your King of Hearts.
Oh.
He dodges on 1. That's good enough.
Honestly, worth it.
Yeah.
To mime? No.
For neither play. But the death.
Ugh.
Super important.
And these are shops that Jake did not get through.
Yep. Jake missed all of these. And he missed the voucher too, I think, right? Didn't pick up
the
that.
voucher. What was the voucher again?
It was the blank voucher. So that could be potentially
Oh
a
my
big difference
goodness!
going
This
into the next
game.
blind. We're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see. Really, it's all too much. It's all too much.
I'm just a little worried that Super Hydier's gonna get a little too cocky and have to. Okay, he's doing the good thing. He's doing what
He
he
knows what to
should.
do. He knows what to do.
Super Hydier has been made fun of in the past for not being a good player, but I really feel like there's been a lot of improvement and a lot of ability here, a potential. as it were.
Especially during that team tournament, Lemon Team put up more numbers than we all thought. We got to give it to them.
Yeah.
So this is the shop that Jake saw literally none of. So everything here is just free divergence for Super.
And the Hermit.
What did we hit on the
Ace
idol?
of
The idol
Hearts.
Ace of Hearts. No good. No good. We were looking
Not
for King
close
of Hearts for
enough.
Super. Finally, a
Oh,
series.
No, take it.
I think you take it just in case. That could
Yeah.
work towards your idol this round too. That could work towards it. Probably not going to work necessary.
Don't take Diabolus today.
Not today.
Next time.
Not today, Satan. Something to detail before we go into the next blind after this boss blind.
Turn that ace into a heart. No,
No!
Gusty, no.
No. So sad. I think he thinks he's only playing towards the King of Hearts here, just because that idol didn't hit. You gotta make room. You gotta make room to use
I'm
that
just
purple
looking
seal.
at Jake here and just remembering that there's no way. Super
finds the red
Hydier's
seal.
gonna win this one.
Oh my
Jake's
gosh.
got this.
Oh my gosh.
This could be a very, very high number.
This is gonna be higher than the. It's gonna be 1 billion, I think.
All right.
Yep, we're in the ease.
That's what we're all tattooing on our skin. Love it. All
Super
hail.
knows that he can't. Super knows that he can't match the score, so he's just gonna go for the lucky cards, turning those gold cards into lucky cards. That could be a potential power play later. And going for the dusk here for the retrigger for the lucky card money is the correct play.
Yeah, lucky cards are definitely my favorite cards at the
No
moment.
money shots though. No money shots. It had 4 retriggers on each of those lucky kings. No money shots. All right.
Oh, what if Jake got skip off?
Negative popcorn. Fantastic.
Negative